Yeah, we're kind of late again today. Steve, he's ready. Watch him go over the couch. Yesterday's dual microphone did not work. Now I get the lav on a shirt like this. It's probably touching Rex's skin now, and that's making a noise. Oh, the audio. I'm not doing dual lavs again, though, that's for sure. Okay, so the lav is sticking out now, and it should not be touching anything, and there's only one, so you might only hear me in one of your ears if you're wearing earphones, but hopefully the audio is better today. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new day. That's so cliche, isn't it, T-Rex? Every day's the same. Run out the door. Steve ran too. 70 degrees. Oh, quite nice. 8:47, August 14th. The tide is high. The moon is getting higher and fuller, and we're approaching a full moon, and there's going to be a storm out in the ocean. Things are going to get kind of chaotic, at least by the ocean around here, starting probably Friday night, Saturday. So peaceful right now. So smoky. See any fishermen out there? I got this text this morning from my neighbor. Out the door with Charlie and company fishing as he went by the house this morning. Got a great view of the calm, smoky sunrise water. And I think before 6:30 they had landed this massive keeper, striper. They're right down there. Where are you guys now? Probably already back home and having breakfast. So it seems peaceful. The satellite imagery this morning in the upper right, that's the Gulf of St. Lawrence. See that nice clear air? That's the upper level low with nice clean air from the North Atlantic. But the rest is smoke, and you can see some fog there in the valleys of New York and Pennsylvania. So we had actually an inversion with radiational cooling last night down near the ground, and up in the sky, the flow from the north, bringing in the smoke. And we'll show the temperature and dew point map at 8 o'clock this morning. You don't see very many wind barbs, do you? You see all the 54 over 54, Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. That's temperature 54 over dew point 54, quite nice. And that's in northern New Hampshire also. And with the cross, that just means that there's no wind. It's calm in a lot of spots. Down near the ground, that is. I haven't been able to get the wind forecast right once in the last couple days. Yesterday's sea breeze was kind of a surprise. The day before, with all those thunderstorms, the wind was erratic. So what's the wind going to do today? It's going to end up coming back on shore, but I think for a different reason, not just localized orographic, but also synoptic. That's instead of local scale, more of a regional scale. Remember all those Tuesdays that were so beautiful in springtime into early summer, and then so many Wednesdays and Thursdays in a row we had a backdoor cold front? Well, that's happening again this week. Yesterday was gorgeous, and today we have a backdoor cold front. What does that mean? That means instead of the front coming in from the west, it comes in from the north and the east through Maine, and there's the map this evening showing the backdoor cold front, and you have the green with the red border. Those are scattered showers and thunderstorms. They're going to be hit or miss, but if they hit, they could hit fairly hard, and you may have some downpours and some rainbows this afternoon. Say the odds are less than 50-50 for any one individual getting them, but it's going to be an interesting sky day. And then it's going to be a really tough forecast. The plane's taking off toward the east again. You know how I love that. At least with the noise-canceling mic, you can't really hear it as much. Yesterday, the planes were taking off toward the east, and then they were taking off towards the north. And all has to do with them trying to fly into the wind. Charlie, you're not on that boat, are you? Can't tell. Thanks for sharing those pictures, by the way. All right, Steve's going over to his perch, and T-Rex is all wound up over here. I think I can just sit down and do the weather. Backdoor cold front means scattered shower and a thunderstorm today. Show the Boston 5-day meteogram. High temperature close to 80 today. It'll be getting a little cooler near the coast. The dew point is up a bit. I showed that dew point map earlier. The dew point is back into the 60s in southern New England, so it's not crazy humidity and it's not crazy heat, but it's you'll notice it working outdoors, that's for sure. Tomorrow, not too bad. Chance of a shower or scattered thunderstorm. And then Friday, it looks like thicker clouds trying to come in off the ocean. And it's optimistic here that we stay mostly dry Friday into Saturday. But wait till I show you a different perspective on this. And then this one has the rain coming in on Sunday. There are fronts coming at us from the north today, and then from the west over the weekend, then from the southwest late in the weekend, and Hurricane Ernesto going by. And let's show the smoke. I think showing the smoke forecast, you know how you just, if you're golfing and you put the grass up in the air and you see which way the grass goes to indicate what the wind is doing? Well, this is a massive wind indicator at upper levels of the atmosphere, actually lower levels of the atmosphere and upper. Okay, what you see there is a ridge in central Canada. So a trough in western Canada, that's where most of the fires are now, and then the smoke coming out of northern Saskatchewan and Alberta and Manitoba, and then coming down, and you see there's sort of a bottleneck of smoke right into New England with our retrograding upper level low backing in from the Gulf of the St. Lawrence, kind of pushing that smoke right into New England. You saw that on the satellite image earlier, and if I show you just our sector with the upper level flow this morning, there you can see that air coming out of central Canada into southeastern Canada and then steered right into New England. That retrograding upper level low is responsible for the weather over the next couple of days. Show you the, I guess I'll just go right to the tropical sector. Ernesto this morning causing flooding in Puerto Rico. The storm is now north of Puerto Rico as a strengthening tropical storm, and the Hurricane Center says it is likely going to intensify into a major hurricane with winds of 120 miles an hour or greater as it moves slowly in the direction of Bermuda, where it's expected to maybe weaken to a Category 2, crossing just west of the island on Saturday and then well to the east of New England Sunday into Monday, the anniversary of Hurricane Bob, Monday, August 19th. And we're going to start to see the ocean ground swell. Surf is going to start showing up here on Friday. There's the surf period forecast, and the orange to red is 10 to 12 to 16 second period into Maine. That is a very powerful ground swell. Ripples of ocean water coming at New England and the entire East Coast, really. As for the height of the swell, it looks like by Saturday it's close to a meter, and a meter is about 4 feet. But when you have a ground swell at a 14-second period, a 4-foot swell may not look like much, but it can knock your legs right out from underneath you. And so there'll be rip currents, to say the least. And surf is up this weekend in all of New England. It's enough to even come over to here to Nantasket. It's going to wrap the Cape, I think, by Saturday into Sunday. So we're all going to see some pretty special waves. What about precipitation? Well, this is curious. Show the sector of the Northwest Atlantic with the storm. There's Ernesto coming up from the south. Now we have a front coming at us from the west. Now we get to about Friday or so, we're starting to see more showers developing well west of Ernesto. And then on Saturday, there's Ernesto kind of wobbling in our direction and then kind of taking off more to the north. So there's a little gap between the trough coming at us from the west and the departing trough to the north and the subtropical ridge kind of steering it briefly in our direction. But look at that rain band setting up over eastern Massachusetts. That's Saturday, especially late in the day into Sunday. That would indicate inches of rain, wind coming in off the ocean, not that strong, not that much wind, big waves. So this is a very low confidence forecast. The Euro is sort of the only one with that band of rain. And then Ernesto is gone, but the front is stuck over New England. And off and on showers and downpours possible here into the middle of next week. Wow. How much rain is that? I don't know whether I'm showing the rain or the plane right now. The rainfall forecast, quantitative precipitation forecast, that's a lot of rain if the Euro is right, and the Euro is by itself, but the Euro did such a good job with Debbie, and we know it's our friend, so we're going to stick with it for now, and it generates more than 3 inches of rain in eastern Massachusetts. Put the cursor right over Boston at the end of the period. That's 10 days. That includes the front next week, and that's 146 millimeters, and that is 5 3/4 inches of rain, according to the Euro. I think that's, I'll take the under on that, but it just indicates that there are a lot of moving parts here that we're going to have to watch. I'll show you the lower 48. I say the lower 48. Now, if I were to show a widescreen like this, if I showed it full screen where you still have some of my video on the sides, that's the lower 48 and Canada. But I usually close it in like this, and you see the northern United States and southern Canada, which is pretty much where most of our weather comes from. So that's what it looks like with Ernesto on the right and this rain band. I don't know if I'd call it a predecessor rainfall event. I think it's just an outer band trying to form as Ernesto goes by with the rain here and the front coming in from the west. And that front's going to stall here, and we're going to be on the boundary between warm to hot air trying to come at us from the southwest and resistance from the north with cooler air stuck in place, overrunning rains off and on for a few days, Sunday into Monday into Tuesday, and then Wednesday there's another upper level low. This has been a moving target. 2 days ago the guidance had it over eastern Canada. Yesterday the guidance had it over the Midwest. Well, now the guidance has it over eastern Canada again, and that would indicate the potential for another backdoor cold front next Wednesday and Thursday. Now, backdoor cold fronts in the middle of summer are not that bad, but as we start to get to fall, that will change. And I saw this spectacle, the terrible storm that hit Utah 2 days ago. There's been a couple of days in a row with severe hail and rain, and just south of Salt Lake City, a meteorologist showed this. Wow, rain and hail overwhelming this apartment building. That's some definite flooding there. Anyhow, that's the boundary between the hot air that's over the central and southern plains, heat advisories in Texas, and cooler air coming down from the northwest and western United States. And a lot of that energy is going to be near New England next week. So the stakes are going to go up. So hope you're enjoying the quiet Tuesday and relatively quiet Wednesday, and very fun trying to guess what's going to happen in these forecasts and watching the planes take off over my head. Yesterday, admiring the smoky sky. I mean, I couldn't imagine being on the ground near these fires, but it creates quite a spectacle and a sunset. Nephew Danny and I did some stand-up paddling, and then at the end of the day we had a cigar. He can do cigar smoking and chin-ups at the same time. How do you do that, Danny? And then we watched the sun go down. I did a couple of time lapses of the sunset yesterday. All right, on the road again today. Who knows what door tomorrow? Oh, I should have showed you guys instead of that plane. All right, bonus, not quite to the Enmore yet. This is the Enmore, but it's still today. The cat and the dog all wrapped up around the chairs and not seeming too concerned about it. All right, here's Enmore from yesterday, which was Tuesday. That was the 13th, right? Today's the 14th, right, Rex? Okay, I'm going inside to edit.
I go step toward the door. T-Rex gets all excited. He doesn't even know what's going on. It's 10:30. Another tough day on the internet. Bad connections. Look at that one solo cloud there. How many of those clouds we're gonna get? And I like the glory climbing up the pussy willow. I could just see a bee in there. That was pretty. So yeah, we've got mostly subsidence today, but there's still a steep lapse rate. There's not T-Rex dung. I see seeds. Find out what's digging in the yard. Look at what you find in the yard. Plans with the shovel. This ain't working. I guess we don't have much of a pressure gradient now. Flag's hanging still, and the water is flat. We haven't pulled those boards out from underneath the pussy willow in a while. There we go. Game on. If we're not back by evening, someone call the Coast Guard. It's pretty rough out there. And that was a quick 1 hour lap out around the point and back. It's still flat. The only waves are the wake. And and gorgeous. There's some white in the sky. I think that's more smoke than cloud. But terrific Tuesday. Our streak of beautiful Tuesdays resumes today. Last Tuesday, I remember we had about 15 minutes of sunshine, but the afternoon wasn't bad. And there's your updraft over Cape Ann and total subsidence over the ocean. Hull, Hingham, Cohasset. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that the air was coming in from the east and northeast today. Logan Airport, I think, still managed the low 80s. Smoky sky. How about an easy edit today? What can happen now that'll make me do a lot more editing? Birds on a wire. Nope. Almost 5 o'clock. I think Chuck Nolan got sick on his summer vacation. Kenny Young in again today. That's the worst. There's Steve. We're waiting for Live at 5. Usually Kenny has mandatory Metallica, but not if he's filling in for Chuck. And there's Mitt. Siesta under the cat mint. He just loves that spot. He goes out and he comes right over here and goes to sleep. He's a tail tapper. Huh, Mitt? You can always see his tail tapping when he's happy. Mitt's happy, his tail is tapping. Even though there's like all these bees right over your head, Mitt. Yeah. Tail tapper.
Since Classic Rock, we are live at 5 on WZLX. That was Bruce back in August of '85, captured in the Meadowlands, Giants Stadium, kind of his backyard, right? It's Kenny Young continuing the most commercial-free classic rock in Boston. Look out.
Love you, Kenny. Hope Chuck's okay. Nothing worse than going on a summer vacation and getting sick. When the sun is tiny and brown, that is smoke in the sky. We've already discussed that, right? The planes were landing toward the east and taking off toward the east a little while today, but now they're going back toward the northwest, which is nice. This never gets old, really. So back around the solstice, the sun set right over the mast of that sailboat in the center screen, and now here we are on August 13th, and the sun is that far south. And boy, is it pretty through the smoke. So we are going to do a time lapse of this hitting the horizon with the sun sparkle.